It's Abdul. Welcome to this video on mentoring and its impact on step 2. Now before I start, obviously I gotta start with a huge and mega disclaimer. I am a mentor. At the end of the day, I've been mentoring for a while, so there is a chance of bias seeping in those slides. I will try, obviously, to be as honest as possible and give you my genuine opinions, but also because I'm a mentor and there is a conflict of interest, do take everything I say with a huge, and I mean huge, grain of salt. The first thing I do want to say is that mentorship is not necessary. Any mentor or a potential mentor who tells you, oh, you need to have a mentor to score well, is basically telling you a bunch of bullcrap. It is not necessary at all, and you can totally hit 270 or 280 without a mentor. What a mentorship does, however, is it makes things a lot easier. Instead of having to figure out a lot of those things through trial and error, it really is a bit of a shortcut to getting better without doing a lot of that upfront work. Again, it's not necessarily a requirement. It just makes your life a bit easier. Now, mentorship is a common thing in everywhere, not only for step 1 and step 2, but also for like MCAT and UKCAT in the UK and BMAT in the UK, and even in just everyday life. I mean, like let's say you play League of Legends and you want to rank up and your heart's stuck iron, you'll always find someone who's diamond or master who's willing to coach you for a bit of money to help you get better. Now, if you do decide to go for a mentor, it is very, very important that you choose the right mentor. And sometimes you don't have to go and pay for a particular someone. Look at your personal circle first. Look at your personal friends. Look at the people in your university, your seniors, who are willing to mentor and are great at teaching. It doesn't have to be a random internet stranger who's had a good score and is willing to charge you an obscene amount of money. But let's say I really want to get a mentor and I don't really have anyone in my personal circle. What do I look for when choosing a mentor? The first most important thing is you really want someone who's advocating for your success. A lot of mentors, sadly, just really care about the money. So they just want to teach you whatever basic general tips and move on with their life. But then you'll bump into a person who genuinely wants to see you succeed. Someone who's advocating for your success as much as they cared about theirs. Obviously, affordability is very, very important. You don't want to spend hundreds of dollars. The entire step 2 journey is so expensive, especially if you're coming from a developing country. So sometimes looking for someone who's affordable and advocating for your success is better than going to a random famous person. Finally, you really want to sit down and have some shared goals together. You really want a mentor who's willing to understand what do you want to get out of those mentoring sessions and then to agree and work together to achieve that. Now, a common question I get is, how can a mentor help me? And honestly, this is very dependent on you, your personal circumstances, and where you are in your step 2 journey. Going back to the triple phase approach, the things that you want out of a mentor vary tremendously based on which phase you're in. If you're in phase 1, a lot of mentorship is more towards orienting you to the step 2 journey, creating study plans or creating general like scheduling outlines, and helping you maybe in terms of maybe knowledge problems or maybe a certain topic that you really cannot understand and you're struggling and you need someone to explain. Now, accountability is also something important, but I really don't think this comes from a mentor. Financially doesn't make sense to have someone for accountability. I think accountability should come from a study partner or a friend who's keeping you accountable. In phase 2 and phase 3, the role of a mentor becomes very different because now you finish your first pass of your world, you're doing a lot of MBMEs. This is where it becomes a lot about troubleshooting. The general emphasis I see, it's more about score improvements and trying to improve exam skills in students who have, for example, a good knowledge base but have an issue in getting the answers correct. So initially it's more about a supportive role towards allowing you to optimize your study plans, and then in phase 2 and 3, mentorship is more about troubleshooting and allowing you to improve your performance in the MBMEs. Now, the following section is a bit ads because I'm basically advertising my own personal services. So, Raid Shadow Legends style, why me? So, I've been mentoring and teaching for a bit of a time. I've been teaching in med school since my first year, and I've also been mentoring step 1 and step 2 for a while now for a vast number of students from a lot of different backgrounds, which was very interesting and I think really helped me flesh out my mentoring style. In terms of what I offer, I usually offer my services in 3 different packages. You have an orientation package, and an NBME UWorld self-assessment review package, and a UWorld CMS form review package. For the orientation package, this is more strategy oriented. This is about creating personalized plans, which I like to call battle plans, for my mentees based on their own unique circumstances. And again, really depending on their journey, I also find it important to try to identify existing pain points and creating plans to combat those. In someone who's studying, who's doing phase 1, this could be maybe suboptimal UWorld maxing, or someone in phase 2, maybe an issue with MBMEs or an issue with approaching the general review process. As part of also the package, my mentees get access to my Step 2 checklist and my UWorld notes, even though I do recommend they make their own spreadsheet because that process of creating your own craft really helps a lot. So this is the orientation package. The other packages are very similar. It's more about reviewing blocks together and trying to understand the thought process behind every single question. I really enjoy these because it's so interesting seeing the aha moment in mentees when they figure out why they're getting questions wrong. As part of this process, and as we use the Skittles approach, we will begin to have a visual breakdown of answers, really allowing us to break down MBMEs and understand a better picture of their performance and what actually went down during their exam. We also try to identify weaknesses and pitfalls based on the way how the students approach the questions or their thought process behind their solving. And obviously for every single incorrect, we analyze them and try to create an action plan to prevent these from happening again. Now, to the most important slide, pricing. So trying to balance between affordability and my very busy schedule, I kind of shifted to just having $33 an hour for all of my packages, and they all come in either 1 hour or 2 hours based on you. The orientation packages, I don't think they ever go more than 2 hours unless you want to combine it with some UWorld review. But usually it's $33 an hour for everything. And with each extra session, you get a 20% discount that basically accumulates. So eventually there will be a session that you'll have for free. Again, though, I do want to emphasize, even after this ad, that mentorship is not necessary. The whole idea is just to make your life easier and make the whole journey more efficient, but don't ever feel pressured to get a mentorship. You probably might not need it. The most important thing in getting a 270 plus is going to be at the end of the day, you. Even if you have the best mentor in the world, you are the only one who's in control at the end of the day. And honestly, I find that very beautiful and very fitting. And with that, we wrap up the mentoring video, and also we wrap up the end of this playlist. If you've watched the whole thing and you found this informative or helpful in any way, please do let me know in the comments and just throw any feedback or any specific questions you may have. I'm always reachable at any time. And thank you so much for watching this playlist. I really hope you find some improvement in your own personal journey. I wish you all the luck. It's not easy, and I know it can be very tough at times, but I do believe that you got this. Stay strong, keep grinding, and see you on the other side.